You guys, I'm just finishing up No Spend January, and as a result of it, I've sent $4,200 straight to my mortgage. Today, I'm sharing what I did and how we're gonna take this momentum and roll it into Freeze It February. Let's get into it. Nothing like getting right to the chase, right? I didn't drag it out and tell you at the very end. I'm telling you right at the start. That was the result of my No Spend January. And today I'm gonna share some extra stuff with you. I'm gonna share my actual mortgage numbers, which I've never done before. So I hope this is helpful. All right, I have everything written down. My original loan amount when I purchased my home was $285,656. My first payment that I ever made, that you guys all were there with me, or most of you were there with me, was on August 1st, 2020. For those of you that were not with me back in the day when I was purchasing my house, please check out that playlist because I've got lots of information if you're buying a house for the first time. So, when this new year started, here we are in 2026, real time, right? My unpaid principal balance was $164,125.79, which I've been very proud of because, as you guys know, my biggest focus for my finances has been paying off this debt. For whatever reason, I've talked about it in other videos. It means a lot to me. And the idea of having a paid off mortgage, even though my interest rate is only 3.25%, I hate debt. I hate it, okay? I don't want it. So I did No Spend January, right? And there's three main factors that I want to be completely transparent that help me get the $4,200. So the first thing, of course, is that I did No Spend January. And No Spend January allowed me to save on anything extra beyond my mortgage, my groceries, my regular bills, right? I wasn't doing all the extra things that, normally I have a little flexibility to do. And I just kept saving and saving and saving. Excuse me, I think I'm coming down with a little cold, so I apologize if I'm a little stuffy. So the main thing was doing No Spend January, which many of you have been doing with me. And if you haven't, maybe think about it for next year or do another No Spend month during the year. But that's the one we do together as a channel, and I have been loving your results. And by the way, I can't wait to hear more. The second big thing that happened that's a little unusual is I got paid more for my AdSense from December, because every December is usually probably one of my best months of the year. Advertising, the holidays, it's just for creators, it is often a bigger month. So thanks to you for watching my videos, my AdSense was up. And by the way, I don't make a lot of money besides AdSense for YouTube because I don't do sponsorships currently. I'm not saying I won't ever, but there's a lot more that creators can do. They can make courses, they can write books, they can sell you products. There's a lot of that stuff that might come down the pipe. But as of right now, I just create content, and the only money besides a little bit of affiliate marketing on a couple items is all AdSense right now. So the fact that that was more gave me more. I still have to take taxes out. I'll leave all that out of it. But it was a bigger amount than the rest of the year. And the third thing that is unusual is in December, on the last day of December, on December 31st, we got a third paycheck from my job because I think it's twice a year we get a third paycheck. So what I did was I did not spend that. I pretended that it didn't happen because it was literally the day before the new year. And I used some of that for this, right? So those three main factors, again, the fact that it was No Spend January and I saved money that way, the fact that I got paid more than usual because you get paid for December in January, and the third thing, getting that third paycheck that is an unusual. I only usually get paid twice a month. So that is how that money came in. And now you might wonder, well, why did you pick the extra principal payment for the mortgage? It's because that's still the most important thing right now as far as my financial goals. I have other financial goals. I don't want you to think I'm not investing. I also like to max out my Roth IRA, which is $7,500 this year, as soon as possible. I try to nail that out in the first quarter. So after this, that will be the next thing that I'm working on. I've already started working on it, but this was my main focus, right? Guys, let me know in the comments, what were your results? Whether they're the same, whether they're more than mine, whether they're less than mine, just let me know in the comments, what did you accomplish this month and what are you gonna do with that money? I can't wait to hear it. So after that payment was made, I just made it, my new unpaid principal balance is $159,925.79. My goal is to pay off my 30-year mortgage in 10 years or less. If any of you are thinking, well, how much money does she make and what's going on here? Like how is she doing this? If you watch my channel, you will know I budget meticulously and I practice frugal living tips that I share with you relentlessly on this channel. If you're thinking like, does she have any special crazy job? If you're new here, I'm an administrative assistant at a school and I have this YouTube channel and I'm also a choreographer. My main 40-hour-a-week job that's my day job. This is my second thing, and then dance is kind of like my last creative outlet that I really still enjoy doing. So I've never been a person making six figures every year. So if you're thinking, well, she must make a ton of money, I don't. I prioritize the way that I budget with my savings, my household, my lifestyle category, and giving, of course. So if you have any questions about all that, please just type in the category that you're Kate Kaden, and then, how she budgets. Kate Kaden, Frugal Living Tips. I share everything that I possibly can with you here on the channel if you're looking for some help or some new ideas. It's important to note, I think almost every single payment that I make for my mortgage, I put more toward the principal. There was 1 month not too long ago that I did not do the full amount that I normally do because I was trying to help other people out. But other than that, I always, I don't know if you remember, but when I first started paying my mortgage, I was putting $100 toward the principal every month. Then I got to $200, then I got to $300. And that has made a huge difference. And then any other time that I can save up a lump sum and throw it at the principal, I do. It's one of those things that I'm just like thinking about it all the time and I just want it out of here. So now that I'm in the 150s, that gives me so much hope. As you guys know, single mom with several jobs, like this takes some focus, but you can do it too. Anybody watching this can do this in time. It's slow, but by budgeting, frugal living, doing all the things we talk about on the channel, any of you watching can get into a better financial state slowly but surely. It's all about just doing the same. And I know people think it's boring, but some of these boring habits, like checking your accounts every single morning, every weekday, I'm sitting there with my coffee, inputting my transactions, tracking my stuff. It only takes 5 to 10 minutes a day and it works. So moving on to a fresh month, and you guys know I love a fresh month. We're moving on to the first ever Freeze It February. Now, Freeze It February is going to be exciting because those of you that just did no spend January, you're probably very hyper aware of what you want to change in your budget. Maybe you're thinking, okay, I didn't spend on this, but I know I want to start putting in my budget going out to eat sometimes. Like maybe that you really missed. I did. I'll tell you that. That's probably the one thing I missed the most during no spend. But overall, like I shared in the last video, and if you didn't see my last video, please check out my lessons that I learned throughout the month. But overall, I'm just thinking my normal thing that I do is a low spend after a no spend. So I have January as a no spend. February, March is normally low spend before like spring kicks in and all the things of spring and summer. And oh, it's so exciting. But this is kind of a dead zone here. I'm in a cold state and Freeze It February is going to be about choosing what you personally, want to work on. Okay, so I'm going to give you some ideas. This is like a choose your own adventure because we all have our own personal finance goals. And so January sets the tone, right? But Freeze It February is going to be about like zeroing in a little bit more if you want it to be that. So here are some ideas. This is kind of a choose your own adventure, but it's still going to get you further in your finances by being aware of the thing you need to work on, right? So here's some ideas. You don't have to do any of these, but if you want to join us, pick your thing, all right? Here's one idea. Maybe you choose to freeze online shopping. If you're that person to click quick and you need to stop that, maybe you take a break from online spending and you just leave that be for Freeze It February. Maybe you're freezing taking out or going out to eat if that's still the one thing that you spend entirely too much on and you know that that would help you the most. Freeze impulse buys. Here's a good one, right? This is a tip I talk about a lot, but anything not planned and say you just start filling your cart, right? You must wait 24 to 48 hours to avoid emotional spending and practice delayed gratification. I am the queen of delayed gratification. If you ever want me to do a video on that, please let me know because I know a lot of people impulse spend and they have a very hard time waiting for the prize. They see it, they get it, they want it right away, and then there's a world of just emotional pain and emotional stress associated with that. I can wait. I can wait. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I can wait. I wait. I am patient. Not for some things, but when it comes to this stuff and reaching my goals, I can wait. And delayed gratification, I think, is a big deal when you're trying to be a saver. Okay, here's another idea. You could freeze subscriptions or memberships. You could freeze lifestyle inflation. Say you get a raise, say you get, money from taxes or whatever you get back and you all of a sudden have more money. Don't change your spending habits. You freeze just where you're spending so you don't spend above that and use that money for something else. Here's another idea. You could freeze credit card use. If you are a soul wiper and you are having a hard time stopping, maybe you freeze credit cards for 1 month. You only use cash. Here's another idea. Freeze I deserve it spending. Replace it with a walk, tea, journaling, something you already own. That treat yourself mentality sometimes can get you into trouble. Next, you could freeze incoming clutter. No new clothes, no new decor, no new home items, if that's your thing. Use what you have, appreciate your space. And the last idea is freeze your decisions. Pick and stick with the decisions you're making instead of having to redecide over and over again. I talked about this recently in a video. Meal plan, errands, all that. Pick it and stick with it instead of having to reinvent the wheel all the time. I don't know, again, what kind of thing that you're facing in your finances and your habits, but pick one of these things, just one. You don't have to do the whole bit. One aspect, Freeze It February, and let's change it up a little bit because some people felt a little restricted in no spend January, and I understand that. And that's kind of part of the idea is to get a baseline of what you need and what will work and what you want more of. It's perfect because now we can have some flexibility, loosen up the reins a little if you can and if you want to. But if not, pick one thing. Pick one thing, freeze it February, and please let me know in the comments what you picked if you're gonna do it, because I can't wait to see what you pick and then how you go about it. I'm so excited. So before you head out of here, don't forget to just leave me something below. Did you do no spend? What came of it? Are you gonna do freeze it February? What are you gonna freeze? Let me know, can't wait. Thank you so much to all of you that participated in No Spend January. It was an adventure, as it is every single year. If you would like some frugal tips to kick off February or some other frugal ideas about living below your means, I'm gonna leave 2 videos for you here. Again, pick which one is gonna serve you best today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.